I want to talk also about the very last one here, really why that's there. It is that people will say things like, well, what's going to happen to the old St. Patrick's window? What are we going to do with that? What are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about that? And I just think that, and the person who really reminds me of that all the time, and we didn't mention them when we were talking about the pastoral council and the pastoral team, is our deacons. The person who mentions that all the time to me, is to make sure we don't make a mistake, is Deacon Scott. Deacon Mark and Kim are out of town. They could not be here. Deacon Greg is with the mayor. He said he's going to dump him off really quickly and get here. I just want to say, I say thanks to the other two a lot, but really do want to say thanks to Deacon Scott. He's does so many things that really you wouldn't be aware of, and a tremendous support and help to me. I saw Joanne earlier, and there she is. I know you wouldn't be able to do what you do without her. I'm aware of that. So part of what Deacon Scott and with the worship committee and others will be involved in this, but it's just to make sure we don't make a mistake, really, that we do what we need to do with the church and to make it the very best it can be. Now, that's obviously way down the road. Mr. Camposano has spoken about our debt. We need to continue to pay close attention to that. Over the years, I just want to reiterate, when we were with the Archdiocese, the Chief Financial Officer, the Chief Administrative Officer, a couple of weeks ago, to talk about restructuring the loan. Dr. Reynolds was there, and Dr. Reynolds is not one who gives compliments quickly and easily. Right, Mr. Eden? You have to know what you're talking about with Dr. Reynolds. Well, he was very quick to say, wow, there's a lot to celebrate here. And if you go back to the very beginning of all of these buildings and our beautiful campus here, goodness gracious, it leaves you breathless to think of the progress that we've made with reducing the loans and all the things that we've been able to accomplish. So obviously with the church, if we decide to do things down the road, it's going to be with some other things we need to make sure we're doing carefully and carefully. So, sorry whose time I took. But I was also really happy to see this slide my name is on. So I had to take my chance when it was there.
Thank you, Father. I'm just going to sit down. You guys have already met me, and on behalf of Tim Grove, thanks for coming. Normally they put parish life in here because we're kind of a little bit more fun and less weighty issues, so I'm supposed to break those up. Father, help me with that already, but I do have to. So, there's 3 monks that are stranded on a desert island together. A Jesuit monk, and a Dominican monk, and a Trappist monk. And lo and behold, a bottle washes up on shore. And they rub it, and sure enough, a genie comes out and grants 3 wishes. They all agree they should each get 1 wish. So the Jesuit monk is to go first, and he wishes to teach at the biggest Catholic university in the world, and poof, he's gone. And then the Dominican monk wants to preach at the biggest Catholic cathedral in the world, and poof, he's gone. And it gets to the Trappist monk, and he looks around and he says, gee, my wish has been granted. All right. Here's what I'm going to talk about. The strategic plan that we've all been doing, a new ministry that we're going to be developing in parish life, and then how you can help. Vision of excellence. That's the initial framework we all use as we develop the strategic plan. That's where we start from. And underneath that vision of excellence comes focus areas that we want to identify and improve, and then action steps within each of those focus areas that help us improve on the different steps. So you can read that. In case you missed the elegant reorganization of a lot of things we do at St. Patrick over the last couple of years, the focus of parish life has been tightened up and sharpened, and now this is the vision of excellence that we've come up with. So we are a fun group of folks, and I'm looking for more people. So we're going to be talking about that. The focus areas we had were to nurture and refresh our current organizations. We have a lot of mature social groups that really just, they run great, maybe just a little bit of tweaking. To identify, broaden, and target our contact with all demographics, to get a better idea of who we are as a parish, and make sure that we don't leave someone out of the loop, so that we can go and say, well, let's see, if you're between 50 and 55, an empty nester, live within 5 miles of St. Patrick, and your phone number is an odd number, we can identify it and make sure that you're being taken care of in the events and programs we develop. Third was to develop creative new methods of encouraging social interaction, and that's the really, really fun part, and I'll touch on that here in a second. And then the last is to reassess, coordinate, and plan for future success. Any good plan has a continual re-engagement, looking at how we're doing things to improve themselves. So, there you are. The third one, and that's the fun one. Develop creative new methods of encouraging social interactions. And what we'd like to do is develop a new committee. It's going to be called the Fun and Fellowship Committee. It's going to be composed of 8 to 10 volunteers who meet monthly, either physically or via the internet or whatever is convenient to make this work, and think outside of the box and help us brainstorm, develop, coordinate, plan, and administer activities that gets everybody involved. It could be small things, like, hey, let's see if we can figure out a way to get folks who enjoy the company of books and wine together. Or maybe there's a group out there who are really into, the trivia nights that we've heard about. And one of the big things, and I think this would be a great for us to take on as we move forward, is coming up is the silver anniversary of St. Patrick. What a better chance to put together a wonderful activity that includes the Mass and celebration of 25 years of history, and encourages everybody to get together and celebrate our common faith and upbringing, whether you've been here a year or whether you've been here from the beginning. So that's what the Fun and Fellowship Committee is going to develop as it gets forward. So I'm looking for volunteers, which leads me to the things that you can do to help. And the first is to communicate. When we solicit feedback, when we need information, please help us out. We can't read people's minds, not yet. We're trying to get there, but please, if we ask for information, try to get it back to us. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you like, and we'll do our best to accommodate it. The second is to volunteer. Nothing gets done around here that doesn't take a lot of work by a lot of folks, and we see a lot of simple faces all the time. Please get out of your comfort zone a little bit. If you like something, if there's something that gets your interest, come on up and we'll find a place for you. Okay? So volunteer, and then the last one is participate when these events come along. Please jump in, tell your friends, talk about it, and just keep on going, because it's a lot of wonderful things. I said it's all about fun and fellowship and celebrating our relationship with God and one another. What better way to do it here at St. Patrick's? So that's going to wrap up what I have, and I'm going to turn it over to Steve Embry, who's going to talk about lifelong formation. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. We're not getting too uncomfortable in your seats. I'm Steve Embry, and the first thing I want to tell you is, even though I have been here for some time at St. Patrick, I'm really not the first-class relic that Chip was referring to in his talk. What I am, though, is the chair of the formation group. And the first thing I'd like to do is to recognize again Tim Grove and Therese Caruso. Cindy Black is not here. I sent her home. They are a great team and are responsible for many of the things I'll be talking about tonight. Formation covers a very broad area, from our youngest children who participate together with the children every Sunday Mass, to our leprechauns. So we have several cornerstones to what we're doing that are similar but not identical. So I want to go through those and give some examples of what Tim and his team have put together and are doing to try to satisfy those cornerstones. Now, I don't have a lot of time, and there's a lot to cover. I beg for more time because my group has a lot to say. So unfortunately, Mike will listen, or maybe fortunately. So let's go through these. The first cornerstone of the strategic plan is adult faith formation. Now, this involves responding to the needs of a wide variety of people. And we do that basically in two ways. One, through our marquee events, and we've been fortunate at St. Patrick to have a lot of very good marquee events. And number two, by our ongoing projects and activities that attempt to satisfy the needs of a broad group of parishioners. This year, as an example of a marquee event, many of you have heard, we have Father Leo coming to St. Patrick on December 1st and 2nd. If you don't know by now who Father Leo is, he is a Catholic priest and also a chef. He beat famous chef Bobby Flay in a throwdown for his fajita recipe on television. Not sure how long ago that was, but so we're going to have a weekend for food, fajitas, and fellowship with Father Leo. And I'd have to say, following up on something Father Mark said, we have these marquee events not just to eat fajitas. His are going to be good, but we can all get good fajitas any place. We have these for the joy of being together with one another and to learn something about ourselves and our faith. Father Leo, for example, is going to give a talk this year about spiritual combat for teens, to our teens and young adults. He's also going to be speaking with us about family and faith, and parents and kids. And so not only will you get a good meal with Father Leo, hopefully you'll learn something and be able to deepen your faith. Our ongoing activities for adult faith formation are very broad. Our Y Catholic groups are continuing to meet. Right now we have 5 Bible studies that are ongoing.